Maybe that's why his like voice got like really slurry and like sort of drawly, like as time went on, sort of thing. Dolph just punched him a couple of times.
I have a surprise.
What?
Okay, so you know we were talking about doing a bodega special this week. This is interesting that we were talking about this. So just to give anyone some background on this, a teacher, I think he's in America, sent me a bunch of bodega stories that his class had written because he read them. One of the bodegas. I don't know which one he read, but he tidied it up a bit. He took smoking out and you know, stuff like that. He took out all the swearing and stuff. Flav he left in because obviously that's cool. And he read them the story, and then he asked them to write their own stories, and they've written a bunch of stories, and he sent them to me. Okay, and one of them is called Nicolas Cage.
No fucking way.
So I want to, yes, and I want to see what this story. It's called Nicolas Cage. Do you want to hear it?
Okay, it's just that's the title of a bodega story. So hang on, how old are these children?
I think they're like 11 years old.
Right.
Okay.
So and he said to me that these kids are like, it's like an inner city school. The kids are, you know, they're not generally excited by the idea of doing schoolwork the way most kids are at 11, I guess. But these kids were really genuinely excited to be able to write something, and they liked the bodega stories. And I mean, God only knows, if I was on the school board, this teacher would be in big trouble. I would say to him, you're meant to stick to the curriculum, Mr. Crabapple, not read bodegas, but fair play. It's what Bodega would have done. Anyway, here's the story. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
This is Bodega, special part 1.4 brackets Nicolas Cage. I don't know why it's called that.
1.4?
Well, yeah, it's listed as number 1.4.
Maybe he is a visionary and he sees Nicolas Cage potentially playing the role of Bodega in a future film.
Let's find out. Bodega's head felt groggy and faint as he shifted his fingers to turn the metal steering wheel of his spaceship. Maybe it was too many hefty cups of space coffee, for just the mere thought of the smooth ceramic of a mug against his lips felt disgusting and repulsive.
Man, this guy's already better than me at writing. What the fuck?
It was almost comical how the substance made to give him energy at this point only drew it from him. That's nice. Jake, can you cover me for a bit? I'm feeling under the weather, Bodega called to his assistant, his eyes feeling heavy and stomach tying itself into unsteadying knots. China, Jake replied, patting Bodega's shoulder and encouraging him to get up, taking his place, Jake grabbing the wheel excitedly as Bodega drudged towards his bunk. He threw himself onto his bed and let his eyes fall heavy, letting out a relieving breath. He drifted awake, a gentle face smiling over him. He furrowed his slicing brow, noticing that he'd never seen the handsome stranger's face before. Hello, sir, I am Nicolas Cage, he smiled, offering his hand to help Bodega out of his bed. Bodega took his hand and straightened his posture, looking around slightly suspiciously. Where's Jake? Bodega asked, picking up his hat off of the side table and placing it in the usual spot on his head. Jake is out looking for supplies, he stated kindly. While you were dozing off, he landed here. I saw this vessel and he let me in. Sad to say that he may be dead now, though. Bodega's smile dropped from his face. And why would that be? He asked, still in shock of what he was hearing. There's a pretty bad monster out there, one that eats people. Takes a few months to fully eat a corpse. You never really see it, but it comes back nightly to feed. Bodega hung his head. Right. It's a real shame, he responded. I'm sorry about him, Nick said apologetically. Space coffee? Bodega smiled. Only if you know how to make it, he grinned, walking towards the kitchen.
I don't know where this is going.
Well, you wait. Bodega started to notice, after several days, that Nick was trying to seduce him. Nick would flip his hair at him and wink, flexing proudly, this happening more often than he would like to admit. The animal might be on our basement now, Nick told him that day, so just don't go down there, trust me. Well, we'll find out. Weeks later,
they're like in suburbia somewhere making coffee for each other.
They're like on a spaceship and a house, I don't know. Weeks later, Bodega journeyed into the basement for more space coffee beans, forgetting what Nick had recommended. The stairs seemed creakier than usual. Peering around the corner, grabbing some coffee beans out of the corner of his eye, he saw a figure, its mouth splattered in blood, eating the remains of a corpse wearing a flannel shirt. The remains of Jake. Without hesitation, he drew his gun and fired 7 quick rounds, shooting the creature onto the ground. As he approached the corpse, a horrified look glided across his face. The monster was Nick! Tears bloomed into his eyes, falling onto the ground like rain, flowing down his face like water out of a sink. Nick, he mumbled, wiping his face, failing to stop the tears. All at once, he noticed how much he loved Nick, how much he'd paid to taste his delicious burned space coffee just one more time. picked up Nick's head, allowing his tears to drip on his rested, beautiful face. Bodega had been so foolish. He'd fallen deeply in love with Nicolas Cage, and now his heart had snapped in two. His girlfriend was nothing. Jake was nothing. But Nick could never become nothing. Nick's blood was on his hands. It was his fault. He felt like he was going to throw up. He was truly, sickly, stupidly in love. The end.
Why was he eating Jake? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, did Nicolas Cage love Bodega
I don't
too?
know.
I think he was
that why he
flirting with
didn't
him and
eat him?
stuff, wasn't he? So like, probably. Or maybe he was seducing him with the intent to kill him and eat him.
What a terrific story.
That was great. Who wrote that? Can we get a round of applause for... What's his name, though?
Author of Nicolas Cage, The Bodega Story.
Hey!
Yeah, I haven't got the name, but whoever you are, that was magnificent.
You're the best. Holy shit. Thank you for the
my god
comedy cramps. That was great. Oh, God.
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, I don't know how we're going to top that now. I think that's...
Yeah. All right, well, see you guys next week then. Thanks for
bye.
listening.
Thanks for watching the movie.
That's half an hour.
Okay.
We're going to be in trouble, yeah?